Hey everyone, welcome to Passion to Purpose, where people are my passion, and I want to use this channel to lift others up. And today, this video is to help those that have gone through a loss recently. And this may be your first time, or maybe just another year where you're without a loved one. In November, while I don't have to shave, it's also a good sign that the holidays are coming. And there's a lot of people that are happy about that. And then there's a lot of people who are not looking forward to it because of the sadness that they still have with the loss of a loved one. So that's what this video is going to be about today. We're going to talk about tips that you can use to help yourself get through the holidays. And hopefully you take that away from this video and use it in your daily life. Originally, I had this video on my desk as far as the notes go for the last couple of weeks, and I've probably had a little bit of fear in putting it out because I have a goal of trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and there's probably just a fear in me about not being able to make it. And what if I make this video and it doesn't do well? And then within the last 24 hours, my family lost someone in a car accident, and he lost his life on a slippery overpass. We had some winter weather come through, and unfortunately he's no longer with us. So while I had that fear, it's time to swallow it and actually move forward with this video, because now more than ever, I was moved to make it. So let's talk about the tips that you might use this holiday season to deal with grief. The first one is to acknowledge the pain and not run from it. There's many times where we will try to avoid the fact that we're in pain, and that's really not healthy at all. And not only just from the mental standpoint of it all, but other people see that and they're going to worry about you. And really they want to help you. You just have to realize that that's something that you want to admit you need help with. So one of the things you might think about is to not be cheerful. Don't fake it. If you're not fine, you're not fine. And it's okay to tell people that. So that's one thing that you should definitely remember as you're working through this. And it's okay to recognize that the holidays are not the same. You won't always look at them the same way again, because that person's no longer with you during those times. And the other thing is, it's okay to cry. Even if you're a man, believe it or not, it's okay to show emotion and actually be vulnerable, especially with those that you trust that are there to lift you up. So just remember, don't run from it. Think about who can be around you and actually support you during these times, and especially someone you can be vulnerable with. So moving on to tip number 2 is to really be intentional about what you actually want to do. You may have holiday traditions prior to this loved one passing on, and you're just not ready to do them yet. So the folks that you would normally do these activities with, maybe it's a game, or maybe it's a certain way that you host, whether it's Thanksgiving or another holiday that's coming up, maybe you just need to be very truthful with those people and say, look, I'm not ready to do that, but this is what I am ready to do. And just kind of setting some healthy boundaries that you can use as you interact with your loved ones. This might be another opportunity where you want to try a new tradition. Maybe it's time to think of a way, especially if it's been more than a year and you've been able to make it through that. Maybe it's time to start another tradition. It may be one that even honors the person that you're no longer with. A few things you might think about as tip number 2. Tip number 3, honestly, I probably should have made it tip number 1, but is really just to remember to take care of yourself, both mentally and physically. That is something that is becoming more apparent these days. I know when I was growing up, it was, walking off, or it's not that bad. Did you die? But really these days it is okay to admit that you're not okay. And if you need to talk to someone, especially around your mental health, please do that. Whether it's a professional or whether it's someone you can be vulnerable with, but just remember those things. And there's little things that really, even during this time, it doesn't seem like it, but it really does matter. Making sure that you're eating healthy, getting enough sleep, these things all affect your mood. And so when you're going through this tougher time, being able to do those things that just help balance you really do make a big difference. Now for tip number 4, we really just want to think about how we want to embrace the memories that we have, especially the ones that connect you to joy. When you're at the event, make sure to share those memories. Take a moment to just recognize that that person's no longer here. And we need to be able to talk through that really as a group, because you're probably not the only one hurting. There's lots of folks who are probably at this event with you, and they're having those same thoughts as you are, but not willing to say it. So being able to admit that in front of the group, get folks engaged, really just talk openly, and just create those memories, bring them about, and make it a time that you can all admit that there are other people in the family that are hurting, and it's time to talk about it and talk through those memories and how you might benefit from that as a group. And then finally, with tip number 5, know that you're not alone. Build support systems. There's lots of folks out there. There's grieving groups that you could attend. There's probably something, if you attend a church, there's, I'm sure, a grieving service as part of the church. There's plenty of groups out there that are available. And really, you know, being vulnerable can happen if you're willing to let it happen. And that's the big thing a lot of people just struggle to get past. You know, even with me, you know, you don't know me, I'd love to get to know you. Reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you. There's a link in my bio actually for doing that. Always here to lend an ear, whether it's about this topic or anything, but just know that you have that. And the other thing is to really keep that core group of friends you may have. And those of us that are in the faith business, some of us refer to it as the mat carriers. Who are the 4 mat carriers at least in your life that would take you and help you when you need it? You know, it could be just your core group of friends, or it may be kind of a collection of friends, you know, from different aspects of your life that you may have to reach out to individually, but they're there to help you and they want to help you. And that's the biggest thing, is remember that people really do want to help. And then just, you know, when you're in those settings, just don't be afraid. You know, tell the people how you feel and just let them know, you know, that you need help, and see what they can do to help you with that. So I hope that some of these tips today really helped you out. And if you appreciate the video and the content and find value in it, please consider liking and subscribing. It costs you nothing, but can help me with everything. Help me get to that 100 user by the end of the year count. But definitely consider the outreach to a group or your friends. Feel free to comment down below. You know, a lot of folks like to do that, especially around the holidays. Maybe you have a memory. Maybe it was your Mimi or your favorite uncle, or, you know, sadly, it could be your brother, you know, and it could be anyone. But maybe leave a memory down in the comments below, and we can help lift each other up, which is, again, something I really like to do on this channel. It's really it's why I'm here. So feel free, reach out, drop a like, a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great week.